There's a couple major Nintendo Switch stories we have to talk about today, starting with Sonic Frontiers getting a full 7-minute gameplay blowout overview, and we have to discuss the good and the bad that came from this today. Then the big talking point for today's video has to do with Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, as they received the second trailer that did detail a lot of new information about the game. Yes, it will be truly open world and support co-op, and we have to go over all the details and discuss when the game will be dropping this year. What's up, nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we're covering a couple massive stories today, and we have to kick it off with another conversation around Sonic Frontiers, because if you saw yesterday's video, you do know that we covered the roughly like 40-second gameplay snippet teaser trailer that actually in some ways revealed a little bit more than what today's 7-minute overview trailer did, because it actually focused on some combat, and we did not get any combat on the 7-minute trailer that dropped today. However, it does try to just highlight the world that they created, the open zone layout where clearly you can look off into the distance and travel. And that's where I will start with the good of what came from this, which is the fact that the graphical fidelity of the game looks top notch. The Breath of the Wild style music in the background is very interesting for a Sonic game, but I do feel like it fits if done right. And the high speed travel that you would expect from a Sonic game is intact. And it's also interesting, some of the puzzles that they highlighted, as one of them was just as simple as rotating a statue into place to open a new door. However, another one was basically a floor mat that you had to walk in certain particular corners to actually get the entire thing completed correctly without resetting. As it highlights, if you hop on the wrong order, then you're going to have to reset and retry it again. And to me, this looks like they are going for right in the middle of a Mario Odyssey meets Zelda Breath of the Wild experience, and I am hopeful that they deliver somewhere near that level of quality. However, to really call out some of the bad points of this trailer that really stick out like a sore thumb, first of all, for being an open world, there is nothing going on here. I mean, I didn't see a single enemy. There was one thing that looked like it tried to pop up and attack Sonic whenever he was running by it, but it was very bare. And while there was big towers you could climb up, there was nothing up there waiting for you. It just seemed like it was kind of a launch point to go down a rail and then kind of to a new area. So granted, there is still time. We have until November for this game to release. They need to put a ton of things happening in this open world. You can't just give a open, nice sandbox gameplay style layout and then not fill it up with anything to be entertained about. There was also no kind of clear direction on what you were supposed to be doing. Granted, they did state that this is the very beginning of the game, so it could very easily be like your first kind of stumbling through, seeing what you're supposed to be doing in order to progress to a more action-packed area where there is a lot going on. So I'm not dismissing it. However, there's definitely some concerns that I have now that I didn't before, after looking at how just bare that world was. There just quite honestly wasn't much going on at all. There's no HUD, which might not be a final game product thing, but I couldn't tell what, if anything, Sonic was supposed to be doing other than just aimlessly exploring around. And that's fun when you have a lot of things to look forward to in an open world and challenges, and maybe we see enemies blocking you along the way or blocking your path, and you see the cool unique combat styles, and maybe we get a glimpse at a menu or level up type system. Give us some reason to want to progress in the game and set a hook into why we should go out of our way to explore, not just have an open landscape where nothing seems interesting enough to go out of your way to explore it. There were also definitely some graphical pop-ins that you could see, and not really the most consistent frame rate either, so hopefully that gets smoothed over. I am more worried for the Nintendo Switch version of this game after watching this 7-minute gameplay trailer than I was prior to seeing it, because seeing the things like graphical pop-ins and also a frame rate struggle on what is most definitely next generation hardware, or current gen at this point, definitely means what's the Tegra X1 going to do with a port of that game. Now, if Sega puts the love and care into it, yes, they can absolutely get it running great and up to top-notch quality. However, there is definitely going to be a concern with that version of the game, and let's hope that we do not get any kind of delay like sometimes happens with companies when they say, yes, it'll be out on the Nintendo Switch, but we're actually pushing that version back another 3 or 6 months for extra development time. But ultimately, we still have until the holiday time window for this game to actually launch, so there is still plenty of time to address the issues and hopefully just create a enticing world, an enticing story. And you don't just want an open world to have an open world, you want to have a reason to pull you into it and to string you along to different paths that are very unique and interesting. And while this is definitely still just the very beginning of the game, the first area we're having a detailed glimpse of, yes, I have some concerns now with this title, especially with the lack of things that are happening in the world. However, the gameplay mechanics at their core do look solid, so hopefully they add in more things to do, a little bit more explanation for why you should go in different directions, not just to look at the world. And Sega, if you're smart, whatever you want to do next to reveal part of this game and get fans hyped about it, for the love of God, show us gameplay on combat specifically and how that system works, because that is obviously going to be a huge cornerstone of how enjoyable Sonic Frontiers will ultimately be. But I want to hear from you guys, your personal thoughts and opinions of this 7-minute overview trailer. What were some of the highlights and things that you liked that stuck out to you that were positives about the game? And are you like me and you have some concerns about the lack of things that were actually featured in the overworld entirely that we saw? And let me know whether or not you can see this thing potentially having some performance issues running on the Nintendo Switch if not done correctly. So I want to hear all your thoughts, positive or negative, around what happened with Sonic Frontiers and the 7-minute gameplay trailer today in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today has to do with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet getting a brand new gameplay trailer that does highlight a number of brand new things we have not known about the game up to this point in time. And I'm watching this project with a very close eye because it does claim to be the first true open world Pokemon experience. And with that, I was hoping we would see a lot of the Legends Arceus style elements that were added into that title carried forward and even evolved further into this installment. And this looks like, at first glance to me, a perfect balance between a more traditional mainline Pokemon installment and some mechanics of what Legends Arceus provided. We did not get detailed, lengthy gameplay of you encountering Pokemon and what that looks like. However, it did look like you could still sneak up on Pokemon and throw a ball directly at them at one point in the trailer, especially with lower leveled Pokemon. So I'm hopeful that that is still a mechanic that is in there. However, it wasn't highlighting anything like dodge roll, quick combat, and going out of their way to show you sneaking through the grass and using stealth mechanics like they did in Legends Arceus. However, the Pokemon Company likes to reveal new gameplay snippets and details in a slow drip feed style as time goes on, so I am hopeful that it's not one of those things where you have to have an entire cutscene to transition into each Pokemon you encounter, and that it is more live in real time when we are actually playing this game or seeing more gameplay of it rather. However, there is some more confirmation that indeed this game is open world to its core and an interesting co-op mechanic that I was not expecting to be highlighted at all. And to get on the same page with some of the details that were revealed on Pokemon's official website, I do want to quickly hop over to VGC where they have a detailed article typed up with some of the highlights. So let's quickly read through that together. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will let up to 4 players explore freely in an open world. With these new titles, the Pokemon series takes a new evolutionary step. Fresh details about the open world gameplay and multiplayer functionality have been revealed to coincide with the publication of a new trailer and the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet release date. You can experience a new style of adventure with a world that you're free to explore at your leisure and not in an order dictated by the story, according to the official Pokemon Scarlet and Violet website. You will of course need to journey to hone your skills as a Pokemon trainer, but many more discoveries and stories await you. Meet a variety of people and Pokemon and adventure in the world of Pokemon the way you want to. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet allow multiplayer gameplay with up to 4 players, the site adds. Along with series staples such as trading and battling Pokemon, you will be able to explore the various locations of the region in these games with other players. You can discover new Pokemon and explore unfamiliar areas with your friends and family, opening the door to an adventure more precious and fun than ever. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be released worldwide for Switch on November 18th, 2022. So we've obviously heard the Pokemon Company claim that this will be an open world adventure, but having that official statement that you can actually progress the story in the direction you want to go and it's not dictated by certain events that have to unfold for you to progress is definitely the confirmation we have been needing this entire time to officially state, yes, indeed, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be open world adventures. And the fact that you can do up to 4-player co-op, I'm assuming online only, could be some maybe something up to 2 players on couch co-op. That's totally definitely a possibility, but so far it seems like maybe online will be the direction that will go. That is still a great feature to include in there, and definitely something that I can see adding in unique gameplay abilities and just fun to be able to experience an adventure together with your friends in the Pokemon world. Now, graphically, it's clearly what you would expect from a classical Game Freak and Pokemon Company style game, where you don't go into this title for the stunning visuals and the far off in the distance details, because if you look far off in the distance, you will probably see stuff popping in on screen at 2 to 4 frames per second, and the gameplay and the world is what you're going into this experience for, not the visual style where you just stop and rotate the camera and try to get all of these beautiful screenshots that you may use as wallpapers later on. Like, yes, the Pokemon art style is nice, but it is also definitely dated, and graphics are not the reason that I will be picking up these games at launch, but rather the evolution in what they're doing with the gameplay and the open world dictation of the story are the two big things that are really enticing me to pick this up, as well as I'll definitely be checking out the co-op play and see how all of those mechanics work. And also we have to ask questions like, how will the gym battles unfold? It definitely looks like at a point in the trailer we saw a classical style gym, so as opposed to the Legends Arceus formula where you're not conquering traditional gyms, it does look like they're back in this game in a big way, and it looks like we can go in any order we want to actually take those on. Will there be strategy elements where you probably don't want to go to certain gyms earlier on until you have certain types of Pokemon trained up and leveled up? That's probably going to be a logical step, and I hope we do see that. But just having the option to go to maybe like the hardest gym out of the gate, I think is a fantastic thing. The same way in Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can go straight to Ganon. As much as that's a ridiculous move, people have done it and they can complete the game in a ridiculous amount of time, and I just love having that freedom. So if you guys can't tell, I'm very hyped for the game. I do need to see a little bit more details around how the live transition combat works, because I hope that we are still in a Legends Arceus style environment where when we encounter a Pokemon, it's not a full-on loading transitional cutscene to get into that battle, but rather real-time fast gameplay that doesn't take you out of the experience by having those transitions over and over, whether it be a trainer battle and whether it be just encountering any Pokemon. Let's hope they kept that Legends Arceus style encounter system at least to some extent. We got the legendary reveals at the end of the trailer as well, and both of them look incredibly beautiful, and I just can't wait to dive into this adventure when it launches later in November this year. I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, both the stories we talked about today. What are your updated impressions of Sonic Frontiers now that we've gotten 7 minutes of live gameplay? Do you have any concerns for the title, or did this trailer just do nothing but hype you up for the game even more? And then definitely share with me your overall thoughts and impressions on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where it's at from the trailer that we saw today, and what you hope we see revealed in terms of gameplay mechanics. Are you like me and you want more of the Legends Arceus live style combat, or are you ready to go back to the more traditional style Pokemon formula? So regardless of your thoughts and opinions on both the stories we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, where we discussed the brief Sonic Frontiers gameplay trailer that we saw that did actually feature some combat, and a discussion about the Pokemon Scarlet trailer that we did see drop today. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.